get them. If you are really serious about developing indicators for empowerment and development. Otherwise, you are just repeating the same stuff.
So, time's up. Thank you, Mr. Vijay. Thank you for the presentation. That's very nice. So, now we proceed to the third presenter, Mr. Mumtaz Malaman. Sorry. Ms. Mumtaz from Songkhla University. The title is Sustainability Indicators for Assessing and Monitoring Resource Management of the Pat Panang River Basin, Thailand.
Hello, all participants. Very exciting. My name is Mumtaz Milaman. Now I'm studying in the Faculty of Environmental Management at Prince of Songkhla University. Today, I would like to Today, I would like to present about the topic sustainability indicators for assessing and monitoring the resource management of the Pak Panang River Basin, Thailand. Where is Pak Panang Basin? The Pak Panang Basin is located off the east coast of southern peninsula of Thailand. The topology consists of mountain and foot slope in the west. You can see in the picture. Mountain and foot slope in the west, and then the land slope down towards the east. The mountain and foot slope area are called upper watershed. These areas are characterized by steep slope and undulating rolling. Next, then in the middle watershed, you can see in the picture, have the old beach leash have two lines, north to south. This is the old beach leash, and between the old beach leash is characterized by coastal plain. The southern part of the middle basin in area, this is this area, characterized by the middle basin is an area of peat swamp or wetland characterized by thick deposits of organic peat materials over the potentially acid-sulfate marine clay zones. And then the floodplain. The lower basin was consists of a river floodplain, a tidal flat in the north. This is a tidal flat. A tidal flat at the river mouth and a narrow coastal plain. This is a narrow coastal plain. The floodplain occupies the largest area of the basin. The coastal plain, which predominantly sand beach with Pak Panang Bay at the north, was characterized by an elongated sandbar. This is Lam Talung Phuk. This is Lam Talung Phuk. Lam Talung Phuk, continually extending as sand, is carried by the predominant northward shore, this interacting with the outflow of the river. Conclusion. Topology or terrain can be grouped into 6 to 7 significant groups. In the steep slope of upper watershed, covered with tropical land forests, The food slope areas are used for rubber and mixed orchards, and then land use in the coastal plain between the two old beach which was mainly natural vegetation and land-fed paddy. The floodplain. This is floodplain. Floodplain of the lower basin are used for irrigated paddy. The tidal flood, the river's mouth covered with extensive mangrove forests along the shore. A narrow coastal plain covered with shrimp farming. This is shrimp farming in area. This is shrimp farming in area. The Pak Panang River is the main river of the basin, flowing from the north to south. Fresh water from the Pak Panang River and tributaries during the dry season has dropped significantly, and saline water flow into the river. And its tributaries in the part of middle watershed is characterized by wetland and swamp. This is wetland and swamp in the middle watershed. Have function of buffering of saltwater intrusion and filtering pollutants, and important for critical wildlife habitat. In present Loyal Irrigation Project, construction of water gate blocking the Pak Panang River. This is the Pak Panang River. Loyal Irrigation Project construction water gate. This is water gate. To prevent the saltwater intrusion, so-called Uthok Vipak Pasit. The Pak Panang River basin is a complex ecological system undergoing rapid change in the biophysical and socio-economic aspects. It is important to understand it from an historical perspective of the area in order to identify the important issue and to understand its ecological resource potential and its constraints and limitations in order to identify appropriate sustainability indicators used for evaluating and monitoring the land management in the area. The methods of study involve an extensive literature reviews, in-depth interview of local key informants and related government personnel in each ecosystem zone, and use of semi-structured questions and the participatory rural appraisal techniques. The results and discussion in this paper consist of 3 presentations. Firstly, I would like to present the historical perspective and change in the basin. Second, the result, cause, problems, and symptoms in the upper, middle, and lower watershed at the Pak Panang Basin. Finally, sustainability of land use assessment, sustainability indicator used for evaluating and monitoring the land use management in area. One section, the historical perspective and change in the basin, can be grouped into 4 significant periods. In the first period, when before the National Economic Plan, the Pak Panang Basin was known as the rice bowl of the southern region and was hub of rice trading. Important report for trading and transportation between China and Southeast Asia. Until the start of the first to fourth of 5 years National Economic Plan, with the rapid development of infrastructure and the construction of a road network, consequently the end of importance of sea trading and transportation. The economy of Pak Panang began to decline. Some local people have going to higher areas and deforestation for rubber plantation and monoculture. Moreover, in 1962, Typhoon Harriet hit the coastal zone, causing major destruction of life, village, paddy field, and mangrove forest, and the subsequent frequent flooding and droughts. For 3 years after the typhoon, rice farming was impossible, causing a massive transfer of manpower from rice to small-scale fishing in the coastal areas. About 50% of the young people from the rice farm to the fishery sector. And then fish respond to overfishing in the Gulf and decline. The local of Bak Panang once again suffer an economic decline. This period is called transition of period and the beginning of monoculture. After that, since 5 to 6 of National Economic Plan, Thailand, policy of Thailand enhanced to export agricultural products to many countries, especially shrimp. So in the third period, the beginning of intensive shrimp farming for export created a new economic boom, and Thailand became the second largest exporter of shrimp in the world. The large mangrove forest and Nipa palm paddy field were converted to shrimp farm. Uncontrolled expansion of shrimp farming is accompanied by environmental problem and significant social impact concerns, land conflicts between rice farmer and shrimp farmer. Next then, the fourth period in the present, the Loyo initiate irrigation project with the construction of watergate and intensive irrigation network. The project aimed at preventing saltwater intrusion and separate freshwater and saltwater zone for better agricultural development and shrimp culture, and together with recent natural resources. The primary data show that some of critical problems have been resolved, for example, land conflicts, and the saltwater intrusion, the shortage of fresh water for agriculture, and more diversified agriculture production system. The cause, problem, and symptom of each ecosystem. The upper basin was important because of the amount of water in the rivers, and it had a direct impact on both the agriculture and fishery in the lower basin. The promotion of rubber plantation and monoculture agriculture, it was found that the area of natural forest decreased, and creating sediment from soil erosion and the risk of landslide in the upper basin area. The upland area was characterized by shallow and low fertility soil, the low productivity and income of the people in the area. Need more diversified of land use to improve the standard of living more than in the past. Next, the soil of the coastal plain between two old beach is acid sulfate and is low soil fertility, and it often has experienced deep flooding during the rainy season. The extensively abandoned paddy fields. The area has recently been increasingly used for oil palm plantation. In the present, found that the degradation of swamp and the increased oil palm plantation of swamp, which disturb the hydrological balance of the basin and wetland function and in the dry season have been burning peat in area. Downstream, the river floodplain of the lower basin has watergate to separate the fresh and saltwater zone, which provide fresh water for agriculture and saltwater for aquaculture, causing many cumulative impacts from the dams have been identified, such as aquatic species decline, increase in water pollution, increase the aquatic weed, abandoned shrimp farms, and coastal plant and tidal frac, causing many cumulative impacts. Have been identified a decrease in fishery production, coastal erosion, salinization of paddy field, and shortage of freshwater supply. Finally, sustainability of land use management. So, after analyze the dynamic of the resource potential and together with the existing cause, problem, and symptom of ecological zone of the basin, to be able to appropriate indicators for assessing and monitoring the performance of the situation of the basin. The aspect of sustainable land management in Pak Phanang Basin are summarized. One, biophysical aspect and socio-economic and land resource management practice. This is sustainability indicators. Biophysical, for example, risk of landslide, soil erosion, flood, deforestation, decrease of mangrove forests, declining of animal wetland habitats, decrease of natural swamps, forests, pollution, freshwater scarcity, loss of biodiversity, poverty, average income migration, abandoned shrimp farms, abandoned paddy fields. And finally, land resource management practice, soil fertility level, yield trends, adoption of new technologies, level of input, level of soil erosion, drought, flooding frequency, income from livestock, degradation risk and trends, net of farm income or variability of labor, extent of work at size of land holding, government programs, personal family health or farm impacts, viability of farming. Conclusion. Some indicators may be interpreted by farmers in different contexts. The verification and the choice of indicators for each aspect indicator will be tested and adjusted based on the use of participatory approach in further detailed study. This is initial in the first step for monitoring impact to land use management by top-down and bottom-up concepts. We would like to suggest ways to sustainable land management in local level. Thank you all. Thank you all for attending. Thank you very much.
The importance of Pak Phanang River. Now I open to the floor for any question. If no question from the floor, then we proceed to the last speaker. Thank you, Ms. Mumtaz. The last presenter is Mr. Muhammad Suhaimi Yahya from Prince of Songkla University. The title of the paper is Does Entrepreneurship Bring an Equal Society and Alleviate Poverty? Evidence from Thailand.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to present you my paper in the topic of Does Entrepreneurship Bring an Equal Society and Alleviate Poverty? Take evidence from Thailand. I'm Muhammad Suhaimi Yahya. I'm from Prince of Songkla University, Pattani, Thailand. Here I'm consider that entrepreneurship is a big thing to develop the society from many scholars, they say that entrepreneurship is considered as a crucial mechanism of economic development. And entrepreneurship is not only drive for economic growth, competitiveness and job creation, but also a vehicle for personal development and the resolution of social issues. From the Schumpeter and Romer, they have emphasized that the role of entrepreneurship as a form of knowledge has on fostering prosperity in a particular region. And entrepreneurial activity tend to create new jobs, reduce unemployment, increase the economic development and growth of the region. That is the importance of entrepreneurship. About entrepreneurship in Thailand, from many sources, but I got the important thing that shown in the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. In the report 2005, Thailand had the highest total entrepreneurial activity index in the world. And in the report 2006, said that some 86% of adults aged between 18 to 64 years say they would be willing to start new businesses. This means that people in Thailand very interesting to perform business and to be entrepreneurship. And in GEM report 2007 record that Thailand has remarkably high entrepreneurial activity, even if compared to Japan or even United States. This is I've taken from the GEM report. You can see Thailand from right hand side. Your right hand side, entrepreneurship rate in Thailand highest in the world. About poverty in Thailand. Thailand poverty incidence has been strongly decreased, has fallen in the rate of poverty headcount index. From the past to present, the number of poverty decreased. And the percentage of poverty per total population also shows the remarkable decrease. This is in line with the severity of poverty index decreased from 4.30 in 1988 to only 0.41 to 2007. This is the data shows the decreasing in poverty of Thailand. But on the right hand side of the table, Gini coefficient show it's still same. In 1996, 0.513. And in 2007, it decreased only small values. We can see that at the time of decreasing in poverty, but inequality in Thailand is still at the same point with the old time. This raises the question for my paper that does entrepreneurship have any impact on reduction of poverty and inequality in Thailand? Most of the literature said that the number of poverty that decreasing from previous time to present, it is because of economic growth that increased. But here I want to measure the effect of entrepreneurship. Does it affect to the poverty, the number of poverty, income of poverty, and does it affect to inequality and income distribution in Thailand? First, we take a look at the entrepreneurship. What does it mean? In the literature, entrepreneurship, Schumpeter is the first that predominant in this field of study. He said that the process, the entrepreneurship is the process that introduces new combination in the market. And Kerzner, after that, he said, the entrepreneurship is having the alertness to exploit profitable opportunities. And Gardner, the creation of new ventures. In my study, I concern with the creation of new ventures. Moreover, the definition does not include act of renewal or innovating activities that do not lead to the creation of new ventures. I take benefit from the creating new ventures, establishment of new firm to measure the effect of entrepreneurship on poverty and inequality. This is my model. I take two models. First model, I have followed the Beck et al. 2005 in the Journal of Economic Development. I just replaced, actually Beck et al. They study about SME, but I replaced SME with entrepreneurship here. The first model, I want to measure the effect of entrepreneurship on income of poverty. And the second model, I want to measure the effect of entrepreneurship on income distribution or inequality. And the last model, entrepreneurship on headcount index, P for headcount ratio. Do you mean the first model? Okay, let me go to the next slide. This is my description of each variable. YILT means the lowest income quintile at time T. This means the income of population divided to 4, then I take the lowest income of the quintile that show the income of the poverty, 25% down. G for the log of Gini coefficient, P log of headcount ratio, YI different from YILT. YI is the general GDP of per capita at time, GDP per capita. Sorry. And E is entrepreneurship. K, big K is number of years in the model, and K, the last K is small k. Small k is the earlier year. And the second model, actually this is my model, because the first one, this from Beck et al., they use cross-sectional data. Cross-sectional data means they took only 1 year and many observations. But in his study, they use only around 30 or something. 30 to 40, I forgot it. Around 40 observations. But in my study, let's say in the data, I just want to confirm the relationship between entrepreneurship and poverty. I expand from cross-sectional data to panel data. So it means that I have expanded the year of study to more than 1 year, and I take the data from 76 provinces of Thailand. So YIL is log of lowest income quintile at time T. YIT log of GPP. GPP means gross provincial product. And E is log of number of new firm establishment. And the first one is the model for measured impact of entrepreneurship on income of the poor. And the second model, it's maybe not clear, to measure the entrepreneurship, effect of entrepreneurship on Gini coefficient. And last one, entrepreneurship on number of poverty. The data I've taken from 76 provinces of Thailand during 1995 to 2008. And source of data, GPP, poverty and income inequality, I have taken from NESDB, National Economic Social Development Board, which is available online at the website. And entrepreneurship, I have taken the data from Office of Business Registration, Department of Business Development of Thailand, which is I use data of new firm establishment. About the result, first, I use the cross-sectional data model, and I found that the number of new firm or entrepreneurship, you can see in this row. Number of new firm establishment does not have effect, no significant effect on growth of income of the poor. First column, sorry. But the number of new firm establishment have significant effect on income distribution in the second column, or on growth in Gini, but it is negative effect. It means that when the number of new firm increase, income distribution Gini coefficient decrease. It means that good distribution of income when number of new establishment increase. And the final column, the last column and third column, number of new firm establishment, significant, negatively significant effect on number of the poor, that is headcount growth. So in the cross-sectional model, we can conclude that entrepreneurship does not affect the income of the poor, but affect income distribution and number of the poor. For confirm the relationship between entrepreneurship and poverty and income distribution, we go to the panel data for the second model. Here, in the panel data, when we want to measure the effect of entrepreneurship on income inequality, here we start with OLS model. OLS model in econometrics, they begin with this model. The OLS model will not consider the province-specific effect. Province-specific effect means if there is two provinces beside, they will consider that it is separate, no effect between province. Is in OLS. And for random and fixed effects, they consider this effect. But the random effect, they just say that in random effect, there will be no correlation between province-specific effect and explanatory variable. But in the fixed effects, they consider that if there is correlation between province-specific effect on explanatory variable, the fixed effect is the good measurement. So here, to select between the two models, random and fixed, we need to consider Hosman test. If the Hosman test is significant, we will choose the fixed effects as a final decision. But if the Hosman test no significant, we just choose random effect. So here, we start from the OLS. We can see that here, there is no significant relationship between entrepreneurship on income of the poor. And for next two method also, there is no significant relationship between entrepreneurship and income of the poor. For the second model, to measure the effect of entrepreneurship on income distribution, we use the same method as the first model. We can see that here the Horstman test is no significant here. So we choose the random effect model. We found that entrepreneurship, there is no significant effect on Gini coefficient or income distribution. And the final table. We want to measure the effect of entrepreneurship on number of poverty by using headcount index. Here, Horstman tests show significant values. So we need to take this one as a conclusion for this relationship. We can say that entrepreneurship have significant effect on headcount index. So from the result, I can take it the conclusion that when we use the cross-sectional model, we found that the important role of new firm establishment or entrepreneurship is decrease the growth of Gini coefficient and the headcount index, but does not play a different role to increase income of the poor with the growth of overall income per capita. But from the panel model, we can conclude that the numbers of new firm establishment or entrepreneurship have no significant relationship with income of the poor and income inequality as well. However, it shows a significant relationship between numbers of new firm establishment with headcount index. So from the conclusion, the government may take this as a policy that when we want to promote the entrepreneurship, does it go to solve the problem of inequality, or just only affect to the higher income in the society only? That's the conclusion. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Any question from the floor? Any question? I'm just curious, maybe the floor would like to know about the effect. How can the new establishment of the business affect the income inequality but not the absolute income of the poor? How can it improve the distribution of income but not increase the income of the poor, in other words? Maybe you would like to elaborate more?
In my study from the Beck et al., they found that there is no significance of entrepreneurship on income inequality. It means that when entrepreneurship increase, but this increase, nothing affect to income distribution, but it's also not affect to the income of poverty, but it's only affect the normal income. So from that view, we can say that when people invest, or when one people going to be entrepreneurship, they do not come from the poor, but they is already the rich man, and they take their capital and go and be entrepreneurship. But the chance for the poor is very less to get to the entrepreneurs. That's why the income of the poor is still low, but the normal normal income or GDP or GDP, whatever you want to measure, increase. But the level of income of the poor still same. And income distribution also still same. That's my explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, any question? Yeah.
One would just be interested in knowing why the sample size is too big, like if you use the 78 provinces across a longer time period from 2005 to 95 to 2008. Why is it that you use a larger sample size instead of probably picking on a small size?
Why does the size too large? The area of analysis is too large.
Do you mean my data collection?
Yeah, because we looked at all the provinces in Thailand. Maybe you could have probably picked on one and used it.
Actually, my data is constrained on the poverty. Here I put right? Here I put 95 to 2008, but actually this data is only entrepreneurship that available. The data on poverty and inequality in Thailand, they start from not even 2000, and they didn't collect every year, but sometime 1 year, and after that 2 years, 1 year, 2 years. So when I want to measure, I just take it and take average of the data. So on the study of Beckett's, all they did same way as mine. That is, they just sum it by take average of the every variables. So it become only cross-section data. Even here you can see that it's very large period. Okay. Yes.
I'm just curious, so entrepreneurship covers all sorts of entrepreneurship, small business, everything in?
Actually, in the definition of entrepreneurship, we take the many definition from literature, as I put in the slide. Most of the time, it's very difficult to measure entrepreneurship in the secondary data. And here, the most possible way to measure the entrepreneurship in Thailand is the number of establishment only.
As defined by the government?
No, this is some literature. Yeah.
Okay, then I must find another question that's linked to that. If your conclusion is that entrepreneurship, what you have found, goes against the literature, because you were now saying that entrepreneurship really doesn't really do much to lift up the economy of a certain level or group of people. What then will you recommend? I mean, this is an important finding. So what will you do with this kind of finding?
In the meaning of entrepreneurship, I took the number of establishment. Number of the establishment means when you want to be an entrepreneur or open one company, you need to register your name to the government, and this number will be my data. So if you go and doing your business as your isang orang like that, there no data to collect this. Maybe in the micro, maybe it's SME or micro firm like that. But here we consider only the firm that register to the government.
Yeah, but then how are you going to make sure that your data now reach those policy decision makers? Because obviously having all this entrepreneurship is going to benefit only a class of people.
here, what do I say?
Yeah, what we plan to do.
It's because of the restriction of data. So maybe if the government want to take this as a policy, they need to identify which class of